Turning to Africa now, the Prime Minister of Lesotho claims he's the target of a coup and flees to South Africa, but the military is denying it. Gunfire could be heard in Lesotho's capital, and army units surrounded the Prime Minister's residence and police headquarters. Regional leaders are now calling for calm and warning against any unconstitutional change of government there. A series of developments on Ebola. 2 Liberian patients are now released after testing negative for the virus. They were treated with the experimental drug ZMapp. And the director for the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the situation in Sierra Leone is going to, quote, get worse before it gets better. Tom Frieden warns of a catastrophe. Meanwhile, the United States National Institutes of Health announced its first phase of human trial of an Ebola vaccine. 20 health volunteers will participate in the test next week. Now on to Brazil. Officials held an emergency drill in Rio de Janeiro. Now more details have emerged about the death of a doctor in Nigeria's Port Harcourt. The doctor died last week after treating an Ebola patient. CCTV's Deji Badmas has this update.
The Rivers State government has disclosed that the man in question is an ECOWAS official who was among those that went to pick up the late Patrick Sawyer when he arrived the Lagos airport infected with Ebola. The name of the official was not given, but Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi said he came into Port Harcourt on the day Sawyer died in Lagos and met with the late doctor, whose name has now been given as Ikechukwu Enemo. Mr. Amechi said the doctor became ill about a week after he treated the ECOWAS official and later died of the virus. He, however, did not disclose if the doctor knew his patient was Ebola positive before accepting to treat him. Now, there are lots of missing gaps in this story that neither the state nor federal authorities are helping to fill. For instance, sources say the doctor secretly treated the ECOWAS diplomat in a hotel in the city and not in the hospital where he worked. People are questioning why the hotel and not the hospital. There are also questions as to where the ECOWAS official went next after the treatment. For now, the government says it has placed 100 contacts from the hotel and patients of the late doctor under surveillance and that the situation is under control. But residents of Port Harcourt are still shell-shocked that Ebola has now touched down in their city. Deji Badmo, CCTV, Lagos, Nigeria.